Did you know the average person comes up with 6 to 7 business ideas in their lifetime? And maybe you've already had one too, just chilling in your notes app right now waiting for some day. But here's the thing. Most people never actually do anything with those ideas. Not because the ideas suck. They don't. It's just people get stuck. Like, where do you even start? Do you build a website first? Try to find a co-founder? Do you need a logo? Do you quit your job? It's like your brain opens 50 tabs at once and none of them load. So you just kinda do nothing. That's where the Lean Startup comes in. It's a super practical method to actually start, even if you've got zero experience. In this video, I'm breaking it all down for you, step by step. So by the end, you'll know exactly how to take your idea, no matter how small or half-baked it feels, and start turning it into a real business. First, let's talk about why 90% of startups fail. And trust me, it's not because the founders were lazy or had bad ideas. Most startups fail because they follow a plan that sounds smart, but is completely backward. Here's what usually happens. Someone gets excited about an idea. They write a long, fancy business plan, get some money, hire people, build the product, launch it, and then wait, and keep waiting. Meanwhile, nothing's happening. No users, no traction, no real feedback, just a bunch of wishful thinking. And the worst part? They've already spent years building something that nobody wanted in the first place. That's the old school way of doing startups, and it's broken. Building the product is not the hard part anymore. With tools like Shopify, Notion, Webflow, AI, you can build things fast. The real challenge is building the right thing, and that's exactly where the Lean Startup comes in. Start with a minimum viable product. So here's where we start building, but not in the way most people think. See, this is the part where most new founders mess up. They get an idea and they vanish into a cave for 6 months, coding like mad scientists, designing the logo, crafting the perfect app, talking to no one, and then they launch it, and it flops. Now, what if I told you, you're not supposed to build the whole product right away? In fact, you shouldn't. You need to start with something way simpler, your minimum viable product, or MVP. Let me give you an example. You know Dropbox, right? It looks super polished now, but when they started, they didn't build a single line of code. Instead, they made a short demo video just showing how Dropbox would work if it existed. That's it, a simple video. And guess what? People watched it, loved the idea, and signed up for the waitlist. That waitlist grew like wildfire. And the best part? They hadn't even built the product yet. That's an MVP done right. Here's another one. Zappos. You know, the giant online shoe store? Their founder, Nick Swinmurn, didn't build a massive inventory system or fancy website. He just went to local shoe stores, took photos of the shoes, and listed them online. If someone bought a pair, he'd run to the store, buy it full price, and ship it himself. So what can you do? Seriously, ask yourself right now, what's the simplest version of the idea I can test this week? Not next year or after you learn to code. Could you make a landing page with a sign-up button that doesn't actually lead anywhere, just to see if people click? Could you post a sketch of your product on Instagram and ask, would you buy this? Could you fake the back end with Google Sheets just to get a few test users? Because here's the thing, an MVP isn't about launching, it's about learning. You don't need a final product, you just need a signal, a reaction, a yes or a no. That tiny signal tells you if you're on the right track before you waste months and money building something no one wants. So, don't build a castle, build a tent. Set it up fast, see who walks in, and listen to what they say. And once they're inside, that's when we move to the next step, figuring out exactly how to measure what's working and what's not. We'll get to that in a second. But first, what's your MVP idea? Drop it in the comments. The build, measure, learn loop. Awesome. You've set up your tent, your MVP. You've put it out into the world. Now what? Here's where most people panic. They either stare at their product waiting for some kind of magic, or they obsess over making it better without actually knowing what better means. This is where the build, measure, learn loop comes in. And this right here, this is the heartbeat of the Lean Startup method. Let me break it down real simple. You build something small, you measure how people use it, you learn from it, then repeat. Sounds obvious, right? But here's the catch. Most people skip the measure and learn part. They just build, like a chef cooking meal after meal, never letting anyone taste it. Let me give you a story to make it stick. Imagine you're baking cookies. You whip up this wild chocolate chili lavender combo, and you think it's genius. You hand it to your friend, and they take one bite and did not like it. Now here's the smart move. Instead of making 100 more chili cookies, you ask, what didn't you like? They say, it was too spicy. So you dial back the chili, you try again. That's build, measure, learn. Now apply that to your business. Like, remember the Dropbox video from earlier? That was their build. The views, the signups, the shares, that was their measure. And what they learned? People desperately wanted simple file syncing. That gave them the green light to go full throttle. Another great example is Buffer. When they started, they didn't build a product at all. Just a landing page with a pricing plan. When someone clicked a plan, they saw a coming soon message. But that told them exactly what people were willing to pay for before they built a single feature. Now, here's where most people mess up. They either don't measure anything, or they collect data and then ignore what it's screaming at them. Learning means being brutally honest with yourself. And sometimes what you learn surprises you in the best way. Take Airbnb. In the early days, they thought the website was the issue. They tried redesigns and tweaks. But the real problem? The photos. Listings had dark, ugly, blurry pictures. So the founders literally grabbed a camera, knocked on doors in New York, and started taking professional photos themselves. Guess what happened? Bookings went up. A lot. And they learned something they didn't expect. Better photos equals more trust and more bookings. Simple, right? That was their learn moment.